Hi everyone, Sumit Chandra this side, and I welcome you to our channel Solution Bridge Network and one-stop solution for all your Power Platform tutorials.
In this video, I am going to demonstrate deployment pipelines in Power BI step by step. So you can see exactly how they work in a real scenario. In real world Power BI projects, reports are never built once and forgotten. We continuously enhance them, adding new measures, improving visuals, fixing data issues, or optimizing performance. But the real challenge begins when we see to move these changes safely to production without impacting business users. Instead of manually exporting and importing PBIX files or making risky changes directly in the production, deployment pipelines introduce a formal promotion process. This is exactly where deployment pipelines in Power BI became extremely important. In this video, I will walk you through what deployment pipelines are, why they are critical in enterprise BI projects, how dev test and production environment work, and what best practices should we follow to use them effectively. So let's begin. I am currently in Power BI service and I already have three workspaces created. Let me show you these three workspaces. So I have created a dev workspace and you can see as of now we don't have anything published here. I have created a UAT workspace for UAT purpose and here also as of now we don't have anything, and we have a prod workspace where we will move the reports to production for using them for business users. Each workspace represents a different stage in Power BI lifecycle. Now let me show you how we can create a deployment pipeline. I will start by navigating to deployment pipelines from the left navigation pane. Here we can click on more and you will get the option for deployment pipelines. Here I click on deployment pipelines. Now let me click on new pipeline. Here we need to provide a name. I will give this pipeline a meaningful name. So let's say for example, we'll call it sales reporting deployment pipeline. In the description, you can describe it, but it is optional for now. Now let me click on next. Once the pipeline is created, Power BI automatically shows me three stages: development, test, and production. These stages are currently empty and not yet connected to any workspace. If you want, you can change this name as you wish. If you want even, you can delete any stage, or if you need any additional stage, you can click on this plus icon and a new stage will be added. For now I kept three stages only. Let me click on create and continue. So now you can see we have three stages, and now we will assign workspace to each stages. For the development stage, I will click on assign a workspace and select my deployment workspace. So I have already created dev. Now let me click on this icon. So you can see I have assigned dev workspace to development stage. Similarly, let me assign UAT workspace for test stage, and at last let me come to production, and here let me select prod workspace, and again we will click on assign button. At this point, the pipeline structure is complete and the stage is connected to its respective workspace. Before using deployment pipelines, there are a few prerequisites you should be aware of. You need either a Power BI premium capacity, fabric capacity, or a premium per user license. You must also be a workspace admin to create and manage pipelines. Additionally, Deployment pipelines only work with the new workspace experience in Power BI service as on recording date. Now we will add content in the deployment workspace. Now let me switch to dev workspace. So I select dev workspace. At first, let me upload a report here. So I come to import and from this computer I will upload. Similarly, you can publish your Power BI report directly from Power BI desktop to this workspace. Let me come here and select this sales report and let me click on open. So you can see we have uploaded our reports inside dev workspace. And if I open this report, so this is a very simple report and we have one visuals only for now. If I show you the UAT workspace, so you can see we don't have anything inside UAT workspace. Even if I show you my production workspace, you will see we don't have anything in production as well. Now, let me go to my sales reporting deployment pipelines, and here let me adjust the screen first. Now let me select test. Here you can see we have a semantic model and report in source only, means in development only. So at first let me select the semantic model and the report, and here you can see in deploy we have two, as we have selected one semantic model and one reports, and we have a deploy button and this is activated. So first we need to deploy from development to test and then from test to production. Let me click on deploy now. So here you can see the semantic model and the reports are coming here, and you can add nodes as well. So let me add a nodes moved to UAT. Now let me click on deploy. Once you click on deploy, it started deploying, and based on the size of your report, it will deploy it. So you can see it's in process, and within few seconds or minutes, depending on the size of your report, it will deploy it. And for now, you can see we have an option for compared to source, and here we have same as source. Now, if I come to UAT workspace, so you will see the same report inside UAT as well. Many times, if you open this report after deployment, you may get an error in visual like this. So to overcome this, simply you need to refresh your report once for first time, and then you will not get this error. So now let me open the report inside UAT environment. As I already refreshed my report, you can see we will see the same report here. Now let me go to the deployment pipelines again, and without doing any changes, first let me deploy it from test to prod. So if I click on this prod box, here you can see we have this semantic model and report only in source. So for prod, the source is test, and in test you can see deployment history as well. So from here you can see the deployment history. Even you can see we have a icon, and this is for deployment rules. Before deploying to production, let me show you an important feature called deployment rules. In the pipeline view, I select deployment rule for the test to prod stage. Here, so in the deployment rules, you can select the semantic model, and here you can changing the data source connection, updating parameters, switching from a test database to a production database. This allow you to deploy the same report without manually editing the connection. Once the rules are configured, you can save them. So now let me select these two, and again let me deploy these two in the production from UAT. And let me put a notes moved to prod, and let me click on deploy. So here also you can see in few seconds or minutes, it will deploy it successfully from test to production environment. And let me open the prod workspace, and here also you will get the same report. Let me hit on refresh first. Now if I open the report, we will see the same report here as well. Let me do some modification inside development, then we will see the difference between dev and test environment, and again we will deploy those. So let me open the semantic model, and for now in the service only I am doing the changes. Let me click on open semantic model, and instead of viewing, let me click on editing, and let me quickly implement some changes. So at first, let me do some kind of changes in the relationships. Let me create a relationship which is not important from relationship perspective, but we will see that how it will be reflected there. So I'll create an inactive relationship here between our fact and dimension tables. Also, let me add a new measure. So I click on new measure, and let me put a measure name called profit, and let me put a simple measure sum, and here I'll take sum of profit from the financial tables, and let me commit this. So I create an inactive relationship, and I have created a measure here. Now let me click on file and click on save to version history, and let me just put some comment added profit measure. Let me click on save. Now let me click on dev workspace again, and let me open the report, and I will add a new visual here. So let me click on edit, and let me just click on column chart, and here from financial, let me take segment, and I have created a new measure called profit. So let me select this measure. So now we have created a new visual. Let me save this report. So I did some changes inside my development workspace or dev environment. Now let me show you our UAT and prod workspace. So if I go to UAT workspace, and here if I open my report, the changes will not reflected here as of now, as we didn't deployed those as of now. Similarly, if we go to prod workspace, we will have the same report which we have earlier with one visuals only. Now let me go to my deployment pipelines, that is sales reporting deployment pipeline, and if I click on test environment, and here you can see it showing some difference from source. So there are some differences are there from development to test. But if we come to prod, here it is same as source, because as of now whatever we have in test environment, the same report is available inside production as well. So now let me come to test again, and from here without opening the report, you can compare it. So let me click on compare button, and here you can see we have this button. So here we have some changes, so it highlight the changes, whatever changes we have, and from this arrow you can move. So here you can see we have added relationship inside development, that is both direction, many to many relationship from financials to calendar table, but the same relationship is not available inside my test environment. Also you can see the new measures that we have created here. So inside development, we have created these profit measures, but we don't have the same inside our test environment. Let me close this. And now if we wanted to deploy this, even we can select the report and the semantic model, and we can click on deploy. So once you hit on deploy button, now it will deploy the changes push the changes from development to test. And here, once it's deployed successful, you can see now we have same as source. And even you can see the changes inside the deployment history. Now, if we go to UAT environment and we open the report inside UAT environment, you will see the changes inside here. So here we have the new visuals and the semantic model changes are also incorporated here. Similarly, I can deploy the same from test to production environment as well. And once completed, we can verify the same inside production workspace. So as we see, the updated report exactly as expected inside test environment.
Business users can now access the report and no direct editing was required in production. This ensures a clean, controlled, and auditable deployment process. So, what did we achieve in this demo? Created a deployment pipeline, connected dev, UAT, and prod workspaces, made changes safely in development, validated in test and prod environment. This is the recommended approach for managing Power BI solution in enterprise environment. If you are working on large Power BI projects or collaborating with multiple developers, deployment pipelines are not optional, they are essential. Let me know in the comment section if you have any questions. Thanks for watching. Subscribe our channel, hit the like button and press the bell icon for the new video alerts.